Satsangs are joyful occasions for gathering, and Master said we share our joy with one another. But today is bittersweet. We are, for a while, sharing two of our dearest souls from the Mumbai Pune community. They'll be moving to Delhi very soon. Day after tomorrow? And Shurjo and Narayani, you know of them. They've been here since the founding of the place. And we requested them to share the satsang with us all today. And as the satsang proceeds, let's hold their service in deep gratitude. Often you see we cannot express some of the things that happen. Master's coming, we know of his coming and repeated coming and going. We know of Swami's life of dedication and we're all committed. But Swami says you have to go beyond your own personal commitment. That of course is the natural expectation of God. But he says those who extend that service to other people deeply pleases Master. And in that I hold these two souls very highly in that regard. I've seen Shurjo since the time he joined the monastery, took on the assistant role for Swamiji, and of course Narayani too since the time I joined in 2008. And it's my great honor to have shared this journey so far with them on a personal level over here. And I wish them the very, very best. And I'm looking forward deeply to this satsang.
We thought we'd begin with a song, as is customary with most of our satsangs. It's a song that all of you are very well familiar with. It's called Life is a Dream. But this version of it is not as commonly performed. It's the duet version rather than the quartet version. So.
Life is a dream, time like a stream, carries our burdens away. Never despair, joys everywhere. Love can befriend you today. Free from all care, like birds on the air. Soar above griefs and worries, seek joy and be gay. Often on earth, things of great worth, worldly ambitions define. Sometimes a friend helps us ascend up from life's care to the sky. Love is a star, though shining afar. It can guide us and help us toward light to draw nigh. Love is a star, though shining afar. It can guide us and help us toward light to draw nigh.
As I mentioned, this is our farewell satsang for us as well. This is a very bittersweet moment. We're looking forward to our next service, but we're not so looking forward to saying goodbyes to our dear Gurubahis, our friends and family here in Pune. It's a little ironic that every time a cycle is coming to an end, your mind always takes you back to the beginning. You know, every moment in our life is somehow, whenever that moment's ending, we always think, how did I get there? What brought me here in the first place? Who was I? What am I now? I hope I learned some lessons along the way. And, there have been two cycles in my life. And I think for all devotees, if we just look at two large cycles, there have been two cycles. One is before the autobiography, and one is after the autobiography. And before the first 18 years, I think were pretty uneventful and pretty boring. Nothing to go into. But after the autobiography years certainly have been quite some years. And especially these almost 6 years that I've been here in Pune. I came, your mind remembers these certain moments, and I have this moment of me with my dorky glasses and, and my shaggy hair and the dirtiest white clothes. And just clueless, completely, just completely naive, have no idea about the spiritual path. But so happy. I remember that moment. I'm just so happy, just being in a place where you feel so like you found your home. And just like looking back at those cycles, there have been so many cycles within those cycles. Of course, little yuga cycles going on. Of course, being with Swamiji was the Satya Yuga. And Narayani maintains me at Treta, fortunately. Left to myself, I don't know which yuga I would be in. But, so just all those cycles keep coming in, all those really lifetimes. Just like this lifetime within those 6 years, that lifetime within those 6 years. When we first came, all the monks, we lived in Pune, in the city in Pashan, in the Pai. And every morning we would drive to the land and build the monastery. So we were all construction workers. That was the construction worker lifetime. And was on the hill, most of you might have seen the monastery or are aware of it. It was on the hill and nothing could get, no vehicle could get it there. So it was our job to carry the cement bags, carry the heavy rocks, carry the bricks, carry the sand, dig the trenches, whatever. That was our life. And it was just a simple life. We didn't know anything else. Our job was wake up in the morning, meditate together, get in the car in the blue Omni, drive to the land and build my church. And we just built and we built. And after a few months, the building had completed, but we didn't have any water, no electricity, because nothing had come to the land yet, and Swami wasn't there yet. So we put that on a hold, and so that construction lifetime abruptly ended, and the solar research lifetime began. Jamal and I would be Jamal's assistant in trying to revolutionize the world with this new technology. And if you ask me what we did, I can't explain it to you, but it was so much fun. It was like, it didn't matter what we were doing. We were in this tin little room outside of Banchurch, where we lived, this dirty tin structure. Half of it was Aditya's library, equally dirty. Half of it was the laboratory of the mad scientists. And trying to, develop the solar technology. It's just like absurd almost when I try to think of it. You think of people in, these most sophisticated laboratories really trying to do something. And us with plaster of Paris and hot oil and, Anyway, it was lots of fun. And then we went up to Morni above Chandigarh. We did a solar and a wind installation repair. Then Jamal and Tim Clark, for those who know him, went to Kanchipuram to do a 15 kilowatt solar installation, and then suddenly they had to leave the country, so they called me and left me there to oversee this 15. And we were in Kanchipuram doing it for the Shankaracharya Mutt, and we got to meet the Shankaracharya there. But it was just, if somebody asked me what you were doing, I have no idea, what I'm doing here. But it was fun. There was joy, and those cycles, it kept moving. And then once after taking my brahmacharya vows, we were up in Rishikesh, Brian, Steve, and I, and Dharmadas ji calls me and says, "Shurjo, get back into Pune because Vidura and Arjuna are here, and they need people to translate for them, and they need people to speak the language. You get the Indian Hindi." And so I went back, and that's where the lifetime of project supervising began, and so on and so forth. And then, meeting Swamiji, of course, moving to the land, getting married, Swami's passing, and coming back, running the retreat. Just little lifetimes that were so complete in themselves, but just so beautifully moved into the other and you know how lifetimes are, you carry all your tendencies, you carry all your issues, and you just don't get to get rid of them. So no matter how many times the construction lifetime went away, but the construction karma doesn't get go away. You just keep at it. And when we hear all these acharyas from Jaya and Jyotish and Asha, all the old timers from the village, and they tell you how now 40 years since this has happened. For me, really, these 6 years feel like those 40, 45 years. So much has happened. I mean, I was just thinking about Aditya with his long hair and beard, and now he's the director of the Pune City Centre. I mean, who would have thought? What hidden talent lay behind that beard and the long hair. But more, this has been going on for a few days. Just reliving, reminiscing the memories, the lifetimes, and hoping that there are lessons that I have incorporated. Hoping that I don't leave something behind that I'll have to look at a future date. But more at looking at that, and remembering how, Jayaji and all these people, when they talked about their early days in the village, I recognized a certain pattern. It's just like in the beginning, somehow things are simple. And somehow from that simplicity, we constantly move towards complexity. And it's not about the ashram. It has nothing to do with the community. I mean, yes, we had nothing, then we had buildings, and buildings needed water, and then electricity, and then we needed supervision, and supervision meant deadlines, and then job titles, and then salaries. So that complication was there, yes, but it's just a pattern of complication. I mean, even for an average devotee, I remember Madhukarji when, he's not here, but we were in Jaya's living room doing level 1, level 2. Just the three of us, Latika ji, Madhukar ji, and just one more boy, and it was just simple, for them. And now they're involved, and it's wonderful, but it's just like somehow it becomes so complicated. When the center first started, it was simple, it was just Avinash and Gaurav watching Swami's videos. But what comes from complexity is growth. Because life's always driving us towards complexity. When the sperm and the ovum unite, you've got that one cell organism. It gets complex. It starts building a nervous system, and it becomes a human. Part of you could say, "I wish I could just stay that single-celled organism." It was so much simpler then. But then we won't have the nervous system which will help us find God. It's the same nervous system. It's that same complexity of the nerves that allow us to go in and go out. And it's that same complexity that allows us to go down and get so involved. And that's just what life is. It's just constantly pushing us towards complexity. That's always been. And so I was just thinking of, who that boy was when he first came 6 years ago. 6 years seems such a short time, really. But for me, it's just, I don't know, lifetimes. And I'm just wondering who that boy was when he came, and why was he so happy? Why was everything so light, and why was it simple? It was simple outwardly, yes, but what changed? What changed in him? And I don't know the answer, so I hope no one's expecting anything. But it just got me thinking, and I think it's something that all of us can think about, because. Really, in the spiritual journey especially, it's not so much in life, because life somehow we just assume needs to be complicated. But in the spiritual journey, when we come, we're really coming to become simple. And that's the idea we come with. But somewhere down the line where we get involved, we get caught up in the details of how we are going to achieve that simplicity. And it's Master talking about simple living and high thinking. All this while I thought the high thinking part was the tough part. But now that I think about it, it's the simple living that's really the tougher part. We can all have high thoughts, but the simple living part has really got me a little confounded. How will we achieve that simplicity? Because, as I said, life pushes towards growth, and growth leads to complexity. If we had frozen the land at the point where we were just constructing the monastery, I mean, who would have benefited? You know, it's come to the point, the community had to get to the point where it benefited people. And with benefit and with help to others came those complexities, came those who's going to wash the sheets and who's going to, you know, pay this Meena while she, you know, so she sweeps every day and all those, I mean, just like, who would have thought? You know, that's not what I came for. You know, have that story of Master that I didn't come here to, what? Pour cement. And there's that thought there, and I don't want it to be there because, you know, it's not, I know that I came to serve God and Guru, but it's just never going to end. You know, I realize this complexity is never going to end. And in my mind, now there's this little seed because just looking at this cycle is, how do I get back to that simplicity of my first week in Ananda? Of that, we didn't have anything, you know, and we still don't have anything. It's not like suddenly we've got so many things. We still don't have anything, but everything is complicated. You know, I was also thinking about Suvir. Is he here? Suvir was here.
He's out on the phone.
Oh, too bad. I was thinking about Suvir. When he came to the land, he watched Finding Happiness. He was just this bubbly little guy, and he's still bubbly, thank God. But now he's going to help us with our bookkeeping. So now he's going to get complicated. When Gaurav and I first looked at our financial systems, you know, our first thought was, we have to simplify this and systemize this. And the more we got into it, I think I wouldn't say we've complicated it more, but it's just, once you get into it, once you're caught in it, there's just no way. If growth is to happen, if you are to do better, outwardly complexity seems to be the way of, at least this time and age. I hope in the future it's the other way around. And so that thought's been playing in my mind, and as I said, I don't really have any answer except when I thought about it more. And I was saying, what was simple then? Forget the outward circumstances. What was simple then and what's changed? And this thought came to me that sometimes we forget why we started it all. You know, we come into it and we get caught up and we just forget. You know, and as I said, it never stops. You know, I mean, we're on our way out and this whole relics thing has come about. It never stops. It's just complicated. And when that whole thing was happening, fortunately I'm in this flow of, you know, thinking about those old days. And I remember that boy, you know, just like this dorky glasses and his shaggy hair, and just like, why did he come? You know, he came to love God. And am I right now loving God? I don't know. You know, we forget what we came for, we forget why it started, and we just get caught up, and you know, complexity is going to happen. That's just how life is going to be. But it's nice if we stop every now and then and just remember that dorky boy, remember that whoever you were when you read the autobiography, when you were inspired so deeply to dedicate your life to God, to love Him with all your heart. And don't forget that, because this is going to keep happening. This center is going to grow. You're going to have billions of people coming here. Got a beautiful energy, and you're going to get caught up, just as we got caught up. Just as we will continue to get in Delhi. I mean, Delhi is going to be crazy. But let's not forget that that's why we came. So, just coming to this end, you know, it just brought me back to the beginning. Been very nice for me to come back to the beginning, because it was true. You know, and somewhere I think I lost it. Not lost it. It became secondary. The details became more important. How are we going to financially run the place? How are we going to get people to come? How are we going to reach more people? How are we going to spread Master's teachings? Just like, and the love God thing gets pushed, and it's there. It's the focus of your life, but it's not the primary anymore. It's subtle. And I just thought it would be nice to share that, because that's what I've been going through for these last few days. And I really want to come back to that 21-year-old idiot, that I was. So anyway, so that's it.
For me, actually, it's a very deep moment in my life because Pune will always have a very special place in my heart. Not because Swami lived in Pune or because he did any special thing. It's because really where my true personal and most closest relationship with him started. And started in Pune, in that community. And also, as Shurjo was saying, in the past few days we have just been like moving backward and just recapitulating, like watching a movie, just finding yourself in how you have come to this point of your life, no? Watching all those years who have passed by. And I remember the first time when we landed with Swamiji in Pune. And we were to his apartment that it was just half set up. And we just went to his apartment and only 4 people were there just to receive him. And Swami very genuinely greeted the 4 people. Hi, nice to meet you, nice to meet you. He sat, he drank something with them. And I remember myself thinking, has he come all this way from Gurgaon, from Delhi, leaving that work just to Pune for these 4 people? And all of a sudden, the second thought came, of course not. He has come to magnetize everyone in Pune. And I now see each one of you. I can see why Swamiji really came to Pune, no? Because he came for each one of you, and I was so touched that he did that. And that very morning when Swamiji arrived to his apartment, Promilaji was one of those 2, 3, 4 devotees who were at the beginning in Pune, and she went with Lahiri and just set up Swamiji's apartment and just tried to make everything ready, and then she had to leave. She wasn't able even to be there to greet Swamiji, but her vibration was there. And Swamiji somehow recognized that there were already some devotees ready to receive his presence in Pune. And of course, over the months, over the weeks, over the years, Swamiji moved to the community. But before he moved to the community, I moved there a few weeks ago. And I remember there was nothing. Even before Swamiji moved in the community, there was just raw land. The only 2 places that you could do some seva, some kind of work where you could just sit, were only 2 places. The Seva Dam area, where now is the office, and then the tent area, which is close to the retreat. And one of the Seva days, very, very, very few people show up, and I think I didn't know any of them. But there was a very nice, sweet, but very strong, cute little Indian girl. And I thought, wow, it's wonderful. I can just have a friend. And then I asked her, what's your name? And she said, well, my name is Blazy. Nice to meet you. I thought, that's wonderful. One girl is here where I can just be. I can have my first friend in Pune. And of course, it was the Seva day, but there was nothing to be done. So we found like a very deep hole on the floor and on the road. And I think it was Aditya's genius who suggested us that we just have to fill that hole. That was our seva. So I thought, I will be obedient. So I remember Blazy and myself, the only 2 girls that day, picking up these huge rocks that were even bigger than ourselves, and just moving from one place to just cover the blessed hole that it would be dangerous for people to walk in. So basically, she will bring a rock, then I will bring the other one, they will put sand, we put some sand, until finally, I think after 3-4 hours of that heat, and just the two of us even without a hat, we just finished with the hole. And I remember that throughout that process, I didn't speak with her that much because now I can see both of us are so focused on what we are doing, but we were in such a beautiful cooperative flow of energy, and we were doing that together, and really it was such a, sorry Adita, but useless thing to do. But I felt such a joy to be working for the first time with my Indian sister, and it was such a wonderful experience because I felt, wow, this is the beginning of the work of India. If we could have people like that, and even though we didn't speak that much, from that very day the bond was created, and nothing has broken that bond. And this is what is still happening right now with each one of you, with each one of us, that we serve together, that we meditate together, that we build this center together, that we will build the community again together. And this is something that we should keep always in our mind and in our hearts, because really it didn't matter what we were doing, it's how we were doing that, how we were connecting vibrationally together, just putting rocks in that hole. Then I remember, so that was one of our first Seva days. Then the next Seva day came, and of course there was nothing to do. So the only building that was there was the famous shower house. That was the first building that Jaya felt very important to build. So the workers would take water, all of us could use the washroom because there were no bathrooms. So they built the shower house, and it was half finished. So there again, the Seva day comes, and very few people came. I think that no one of the girls came. So I thought, okay, Jaya, I'm ready. Give me something to do. So he said, well, I have a wonderful project for you. So come to the shower house. So I went behind Jaya just to see what kind of wonderful project I was going to have. So the shower house is built with bamboo sticks, all of them around. So Jaya said, take this hammer and this nail and make sure that in each bamboo stick, you just put the nail, 2 nails in 2 of the bamboo sticks. And I look at Jaya and said, really? yeah. I said, okay. So I think the day started by 10:30. It was one, I didn't want to go for lunch. I was having so much fun. I was alone. No one was there. But I thought, you know, Master, I came here to build your work. If you don't send me anyone to do this with, let me at least do it with you. Let me imagine that you are doing this with me today. And I remember that I spent literally 5, 6, 7 hours only hammering those nails until I finished the whole shower house. And I think it was chai time at 5 or so, and I just finished and I thought, wow, this is what Swamiji says sometimes, come and build the work. Because it's not really what you are building, it's the work itself that you are doing that gives you the opportunity to build within yourself that work. And it was such a wonderful experience because, again, it didn't matter what I was doing. It was the consciousness in which I was doing that serving. I was just nailing those nails. So the seva finished, and it was very interesting because that very day, I remember I have never served in my way as I served that very day, because I promised myself, okay, even if no one comes, Master, I want to spend as many seconds thinking of you as I can doing this job. So when I finished at 5 p.m. or so, I was like so happy, not for what it was accomplished, but how I was able to go through the whole process. So around 5:15 or so, I received a phone call. And I think it was Nirmala or Leela, I don't remember. And she said, Swamiji wants you right away to come to his house. And I said, really? He wants you right now. Okay. So I left the hammer behind and did what I was doing. And I went to his house. And he was having tea by himself. And he told me, please sit, I just want to have you around. So I just said, so what? So tell me how is everything going? Tell me how the day was today. What did you do today? So I was explaining a little bit, and then he said, I'm so pleased when there is a Seva day and people can serve with that kind of attitude. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to come here, just to to appreciate that kind of. And from then on, Swamiji brought me under his aura, and I started serving him more closely. And for me, it was one of the most deepest lessons of my life, because I was doing one of the most weird jobs I have been doing in my life. I was doing by myself. I had no idea. I spent so many hours. It was so hot. No one was there to help me. I was doing a very male, masculine job. But it didn't matter. What he was saying, I appreciate so much with the type of consciousness that you were doing that job. That is what really matters to me. Nothing else matters to me. And I have to keep trying to remember those words as much as I can. Of course, as Shurjo was saying, sometimes we forget. We are not saints yet, and we forget so many things. Why we really come to the path when we are doing seva? Of course, we forget, and we are thinking, I need to go back. Because we have so many responsibilities. But as Shurjo was saying, try to remember in each one of us why we came to the path. Why even Swami Kriyananda came on earth. Yes, he came to build Ananda, he came to build communities, it was part of his mission, but he didn't come here just for that. He came here to keep reminding us how we can build the work within ourselves, how we can work in our consciousness, how can be in tune really with the divine, and especially for all of us as disciples of Master, how to be in tune with Master, because that's the only thing really that matters to Swamiji and to Master. That's the only thing he's asking for each one of us. Remind me, I'm with you. You are not alone. It doesn't matter what you are doing. I'm with you. Don't forget that. And I think it's something that we should take it very seriously, because it's one of the most meaningful aspects of the spiritual path. This is why really I know each one of us are here today, this evening, for our deepest desire, just to be with Master, to be in tune with Swamiji. I'm so grateful that I have walked this path, at least for these 5-6 years, with each one of you, because I bring you with me so many memories really, and now I'm just watching each one of you. I had at least some meaningful exchange with each one of you, and this is really what I carry with me. Furniture, everything is really, we don't care. We bring with us in our hearts your friendship, your love, your support, and no matter where we go, we will always bring you with us. And Promina told me today something so sweet. She said, your home is in your heart, and your heart is in my heart. So I think this is one of the main things that we should just keep to. If we cannot remind within ourselves, try to remind to each other, no? Because we are here above all to help each other, and this is why Swamiji came, no? To help each one of us. And I want to end, because for the past 2-3 days I have been also going through some of the books, Swami's books, a few books that he gave me, a few notes that he gave me, and very interesting. I just read a booklet, no? Where he wrote all of his ceremonies. And one of those, which we don't hear that much about it, is called the Attunement ceremony. And for the past 2 days, I have just keeping that thought in my mind. And last night, I told Shurjo, just let's see about this Attunement ceremony. So we read it, and I was so shocked. I spent at least half an hour just really trying to feel the vibration of the whole ceremony in itself, the Attunement ceremony. And it's so interesting, and I'm so happy that I hope I can convey the message. The ceremony of attunement actually is composed in 2 sections. The first section of the ceremony, you say some kind of vows, some words to Master that are from the poem, Master's poem, I was made for thee alone. So in that ceremony, you repeat those vows to Master, all of us together, just communing with Master. And the second part of the attunement ceremony, which for me was like a revelation, really, somehow it was a revelation. Swamiji asked in that ceremony to everybody who is in that ceremony, hold their hands together and sing a song, which the words are these. Join in prayer, we worship thee. Rays of light that seek the sun. Many drops do make us see. So our love when joined as one. I kept reading this again and again, and I thought, Swamiji was so genius, so in tune with Master when he felt that the true attunement is not only when you are attuned only to Master, which in one way it is, but also we have to attune to each other. And that is the true attunement ceremony. It's based above all in our attunement to Master. But it will never be perfected until we don't learn how to develop attunement with each other, especially being part of the same family. So Swami Kriyananda composed this ceremony many years ago, and he composed the Festival of Light, the Purification Ceremony, and the Attunement Ceremony, the 3 of them at the same time. Somehow we have been giving over the years more emphasis to the other ceremonies, but I really would love if we can today, in honoring Swamiji's vision for the true success on the spiritual path, which is how to attune ourselves to Master, and how can we attune with each other. And let's do it together. So this song has a rhythm. So I asked Shurjo last night, please learn the song and let's do it all together. So yesterday, after a long day, at 11:30, I hope we didn't disturb your Subhana. Shurjo brought his guitar and he started learning the notes. So we are going to sing to you just one round so you can see the melody. Let me repeat again because it's so beautiful.
Rays of light that seek the sun, many drops to make us see. So our love and join as one. So our love and join as one.
Is it? Okay. More or less, you know it? Do you get it? Okay, so now let's hold hands. Whoever person you have next to you, you don't need to have them.
Join in every worship thee, rays of light that seek the sun, many drops to make us see. So our love and join as one. So our love and join as one. Join in every worship thee, rays of light that seek the sun, many drops to make us see. So our love and join as one. So